Well, exercising can boost your long-term brain health, and something we often forget about is maintaining that balance and strength. So Nick Fye, a personal trainer with Lifetime Fitness, is here with some helpful tools about boosting our brain health as we all age, because we know that happens to everybody. It's kind of unavoidable right now.
Yeah, it's super important because with exercise, we have to think about just the muscles. When we're getting a systemic benefit from the exercise, and brain health is a constant topic within everyday health. And exercise can help with things like neuroplasticity, which is a really fun word, of just deeper connections in the brain, better learning, better overall focus day to day, which who doesn't want more of that in the first place?
Right.
We're getting more neurotransmitters like dopamine. That's our reward center, and we can touch on this later, but it's helpful for like neurodegenerative disorders like Parkinson's and dementia. And then overall like skill acquisition and function of balance and fall prevention, which we're talking a little bit about, and coordination, and just kind of a buzzword like a kinesthetic awareness of where am I at in space, how do I balance, how do I stabilize. Like we can learn that in the gym through proper exercise.
Absolutely. And I think some people can maybe hear exercise and think, oh my gosh, am I going to have bad brain health if I don't exercise? But it can be some things that are quite simple. Talk a little bit about the exercise that you recommend to people that, or clients or whoever that are looking for that boost in brain health that maybe is not as daunting as thinking, bench pressing all the time.
I'm a very keep it simple trainer, where you have your classic push-pull, squat, hinge, some core. I'm big on functional movements that impact your day-to-day function, and especially with the aging brain of like, we want to practice movements like picking up the laundry off the floor, rotating, grabbing those groceries, carrying stuff up the stairs, and your training should match that for the most part. And that's where our brain is learning, how can I do this day to day without having to think through all those steps. And so cardiovascular wise, Lifetime, we have a 5-zone system, which I could talk about for 3 hours, but anything from low intensity to high intensity, we want some mesh of that. And then your strength training should be those full body movements that are using as many muscles as possible, but then that functionality piece of, I need to be able to hinge over and use my core and be able to rotate and those kind of things too.
Absolutely. What are some exercises that are often forgotten about, or maybe have a misconception to them, that actually are very beneficial in the long run?
Yeah, a common one is like a sit to stand. We're always getting in and out of chairs, and oftentimes I make the joke of like the grandpa getting out of the chair and he grunts when he gets out of there. We need to be able to do that pretty comfortably, because that is a movement that's using some legs, it's using some core, it's using our posture, and it's an assessment I use commonly too, is how many sit to stands at a comfortable height can you do within 30 seconds. And then some form of a modified, doesn't have to be a push-up, but some sort of a press, some sort of a pull. And then like I'd mentioned, that hinge pattern of just being able to hinge over and grab stuff, because that's a common one where people get injured, is trying to pick up things off of the ground too.
So it can be as simple as just getting in your chair and getting out of it.
Yep. Does not have to be complicated. And if people have questions, I have kind of a set assessment that we can go through just to find where you're currently at, and then how can we target maybe weak points in other areas you might not be getting right now.
Love it. And to wrap it up, I want to talk about the Parkinson's support group that you have going on right now. Tell me a little bit more about that and what it's about, where people can find it.
Yeah, so at Lifetime Des Moines, we're trying to be kind of a center of excellence for all medical exercise. And that's pretty unique for gyms, where it's like we're really trying to target the people who need that extra help. And Parkinson's specific is close to me, where it's hit my family. I think everybody kind of knows somebody where when you're diagnosed, you don't really all of a sudden know where to go or what to do. And so we created a Parkinson's support group where once a month, so it's actually tomorrow, the third Thursday of every month at noon, member, non-member, anybody, family member, like, you're welcome to join, just for a community of positive support. We're going to try to bring in, some research translation and some topics that we can bring in. We're partnered with the American Parkinson's Disease Association, who has incredible resources, and we can help you, kind of find what can we do, how can we help, and especially with the exercise benefit, we can facilitate that for you along the way too. So anybody who wants to join, anybody who's interested, just feel free to call Lifetime, ask for Nick, and I'd be really happy to get you connected to that.
Awesome, Nick. Very important stuff right there. Thank you so much for this.